Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
I'm just so good.
We're having a spicy morning.
It is pretty interesting in here, like everybody's conversations and what goes on before these things start. I wish you guys could be in here.
I'm just going to leave the microphones turned up and y'all can hear me.
That might not be good.
No, but you know what's one of those, your favorite thing at the end of the movie is the spoofs, or whatever they're called, the outtakes,
Yeah, the bloopers.
the bloopers. Those
It's
are my
literally a
favorites.
cast of characters over there.
Yeah,
Like each one of them.
it's our little blank show right over there in the corner.
It's crazy. Anyways, so I thought we would jump back in
Okay.
and finish the Book of Excellence by Bird Baggett.
Say the name again.
Bird Baggett is his name. Bird Baggett. Just think of Bilbo Baggins, Bird Baggett. I don't know. But the cool thing is that I added a bunch of my favorite stuff
Well,
into
then
it.
it's gonna be great.
So, just stuff that I've picked up along the way, because this is like a book of quotes.
You know what? I don't have my mic on.
Oh, way to go. Hey, Adam, what are you doing? What do you do? Why are you laughing? Oh, now you laugh? I'm sorry, Jenny.
I've been sitting here for
You hear how it sounds right now? You know those things on your head, those things you're listening through?
Hey, there's more than one of us here, okay?
They don't have headphones on.
So this is a lesson that some people respond to negative feedback very well. That's Adam's motivation today.
All right,
Our
I'm
next
sorry.
book is How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm so
You don't even have your headphones on. What are you doing this
I've
morning?
been here for 35 minutes. I'm so sorry, you guys.
All right. So while you're getting ready, do you need to step out into the restroom too?
I'm so sorry.
All right.
Okay,
so-
here we go. I'm prepared.
All right, you ready now?
I
Okay,
am.
good. Look at she has her hands crossed like a good little girl. All right, so basically, number one is we talked about this last time. Be a student of your industry and all that, which was super cool, right? Know what's up, know what's happening. Okay. By the way, the T-Mobile people are still not being texted.
Oh, it breaks my
Adam,
heart. Let's make it Adam's fault.
It's not all my fault.
Michael.
At least 70% of it is.
All right, okay.
Not this. It falls into the 30.
So to everyone, text your friends if you know they have T-Modal. Modal?
T-Mobile,
T-Mobile.
correct. Okay, so I'm just going to jump in and see if I can get caught up because I'm way distracted right now. But
Okay.
here's some of the cool quotes. We're halfway through. So knowledge without application is useless.
Yes.
Right. So if you're smart, you know all these things you got to do, but you don't do it, which is probably 95% of the population in the world. Would you agree?
Yes.
Knowledge without application is useless.
Yes.
So that was one of them.
Okay.
This is a good one. And had Adam been doing this a few minutes ago, he would have picked up on this. Ready? Listen, listen, listen.
It's so true.
It's clients, it's everybody you
It
know,
is.
it's people, it's your mom when she calls, it's, oh, my mom called me last night, I didn't call her back. She's probably watching right now too. Oh, well.
Sorry, Mom.
I know. She called me 3 times when I was on the golf course. I was like, "Arr." All right, but anyways, listen, listen, listen.
Listen, listen, listen.
Here's another good one. Rapport is not developed on the telephone. And I think we can say that again now.
Oh, yes.
Face-to-face interaction develops long-term business relationships.
Yeah.
I remember like Mike Zing saying like, never go for a price reduction over the phone. Never, go for a listing appointment over the phone. Maybe with Zoom, it's a little bit different now. But how important it is for you and I to be facing each other. I wonder how
Yes.
different the show would be if you and I weren't here. If like, you were over there and I was on Zoom somewhere else. I wonder if it'd be different or not.
I don't. The energy would not be there. I really don't think it is. I think it's important.
Yeah, and with your clients too. So if you
Very
have something
important.
important to talk about, just jump in the car.
Yeah.
And go over and see them.
And then if you can't do that, then yes, FaceTime, Zoom.
Yeah, and
so at
FaceTime
least they can
helps.
see your face. I
And
think.
because the nice part about Zoom, right, is like you can basically delete the misconceptions of what a bad text or good text reads. Because you know how sometimes you read something, you're like, I remember I sent Kim England a text one time, and sometimes, do you ever have it where sometimes it'll take their name and it'll all caps it?
Yes.
And she thought I was yelling at her, and she blasted me back, and I'm like, no, it did it on its own.
No, it's just.
Because she thought I was yelling. So, but face to face, it would have been different, right?
Right.
So, do stuff face to face. That goes for all of you people with your clients out there. Try not to do big decisions with your clients over the phone.
No.
Okay. Some of the other ones was, and I think this is something that we already know. Ask your customers for leads. I think a lot of times when people are in transactions, I think they say that when you're in the middle of a real estate transaction, you usually know at least 2 other people because you're putting that out in the universe that you're buying something or selling something.
Yeah.
Ask those clients if they know anyone else that might be looking to buy or sell. I thought that was a legitimate one with sales.
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
Here's a big one.
Okay.
The top 20% of sales producers
Okay.
earn 16 times more income than the bottom 80%.
So we're back to the 80-20 thing again.
I know you hate it too.
You do, it hurts my soul. Why?
Why? Why?
Why?
You're not one of the 80. Well,
I
are
am.
we one of the 80?
Well, I think there would be different sections. Because,
Okay.
like, to some people, maybe we're part of the 20, but then to other people, we're part of the 80.
But it is true. The top 20% of sales producers earn 16 times more income than the bottom. And I think
Okay.
our numbers show that.
Yeah,
I
true.
mean, we have 50 people that make, or 56 people that make over 100 grand, and then we have 300 that make less, right? So,
Yeah.
and then we have probably 100 of them that don't do much of anything. You know. So
And why do you think that is? I've been wondering about that. Is it because it's just missing something in their mindset right now? They're doing other careers? What do you think?
If I really had to guess the difference between the people that don't do anything and the people that, well, I think there's a couple things.
Okay.
Number one, I do think that there's a personality type that works in this industry.
How are they feeling more tired?
Right, Becky Bowie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that there is a personality type that works in this industry. I think that's number one. I think that some people were born with confidence and some people weren't. And I think that people that were not, that aren't, well, I don't know if you're born with it or it's developed, but I think the people that lack confidence don't do well. I think that, and the biggest thing is I think that there's people, and when it comes down to confidence, people that are willing to ask for business versus those that don't. And I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I think you nailed it.
I mean, really, you have to be confident, you have to be willing to ask for business, and you have to be a people person.
You do. I think if you're a people person, because you really want to help and be with people, and you can talk easily, and have even if you're not in the mood, have a good tone, you can have a good tone.
Well, and like when I walk in and when I see you in the morning, we both pick each other up, right?
We do.
I mean, immediately it starts.
We do.
It's like, hey, how you doing? You know, oh, I didn't like the way you said hi. You got a bad attitude today, don't you?
He
know, and then
kinda
boom,
he
it all
did kind of
changes.
say that to me.
Not this
He
morning,
did.
though.
What? Are you interrupting right now? What did he say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening to him.
I'm sorry. I thought we were talking.
My microphone.
Turn his mic off, Michael. But I think that's really a big part of it, though, and it's confidence.
Yep.
It really is confidence, and the people that aren't willing to ask mom and dad and brother and sister and friend and
Yeah.
best man and maid of honor and niece and nephew and cousin and aunt and for business, they just don't make it. I mean, that's how simple I kind of think it is.
I think you're right. I think that's really good.
When we were talking about personality, I will tell you that if you go to Club Wealth or some of those really where they do all these Facebook ads and do all this different stuff and they generate leads and then it goes to buyer's agents and stuff, there is the introverted personality that can actually do well, but I think it's 1 out of 100 that have the
Okay.
skills to generate leads. But they also they'll generate leads, but a lot of times they're not the ones in front of the clients. Yet they're the team leader. So
Right.
So you never know. And here's another one don't just talk about it, do it. There's people that talk and there's people that do. I mean, how many people have we seen in our career like that?
Yes.
And I'm talking people that you guys think out there are amazing, and because they talk up a good story. But if you look at their numbers, they don't do anything.
Exactly.
And those people drive me crazy.
And I keep looking them up. I'm like, no, they're not doing what they say they're doing. They act like they're totally.
Yeah, it's like a dog and pony show, and they talk a big talk and don't do it. And I think that goes back to, one of the things from that Shake It Up book, because I did that on Friday, but it talked about, what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person, and so Jenny has a reputation, Chuck has a reputation, Adam has a reputation, who else is on this call? I mean, Vicki Carpenter has a reputation,
Yep.
and there's certain people that say, I'm gonna go get 3 listings this month. I'm gonna lose 15 pounds this month. I'm going to, go to the gym at least 10 times this month. And the people that if they say it are going to do it, and the people that if they say it are full of shit. And the question is, which one are you, Jenny?
Well, I'm laughing because, like I said, I said the 15 pounds too. That didn't happen. But I say it about business, and I make the business happen. Like I said I'm going to get 3 seasoned agents. I got 3 seasoned agents.
Right.
But so.
But and so that comes, and so that's what kind of reputation. So if I'm Brian Keene, and Brian says, I'm going to sell this house this month, I believe him.
Right.
Where if I'm Adam and I say I'm going to have the microphones working and the headsets working, you don't know. So that's just one. The other piece is, of course, and I thought this was important, always concentrate on developing new business. You'll never know when or how you'll lose one of your key clients or lead sources.
It's true.
And even some of your best friends you can lose to Zillow or walked into an open house or whatever. So you really can't keep a stagnant database. You
Yeah.
constantly have to be adding. And I keep going back to Bob Hamrick from Las Vegas, the Coldwell Banker Premier guy, that said, we have to live with intention in our business. I'm going, and then when he clarified, he said, I'm going to add 5 people to my database in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to add 16 people to my Facebook and Instagram accounts in the next 2 weeks. So instead of just, oh, I met this guy, he seems cool, I'm going to add him in, I'm going to add her in, he actually says, live every day with intention to make sure that you are adding that many people. I thought that was a good one.
That's really good.
And that's constantly concentrating on developing new client sources. And if you don't, or even if you, as you start to dwindle, you're leaving an opening for your competition.
Well, what you said, was it last week when you said that they're on your database, but they're also on someone else's database? That blew my mind.
You know it.
Because I'm like, no, they're just my friends. But no, they all know 20 other realtors, so
They're just my friends.
they're just my friends.
Look at John Hill, all happy, big grin on
I
his
know,
face.
look at him all happy.
I think he's
What you
actually
drinking?
driving in. What you drinking?
What you drinking?
I think he's driving in his convertible right now. It's pretty good for him.
Good for him.
And
We're in
then,
a
of course,
studio.
this goes back to what we're saying, though. When you start taking your customers for granted, you start losing them. And boy, don't think anybody you get to keep them. I mean, you can lose them. I mean, you will feel it for, sometimes you can feel it for the rest of your lives
It's true.
when you lose a client, but.
Yeah.
And another thing it says is if you have a big sale, because I know a lot of people, including Brian and a few other people, have had some really big sales lately. And I like when, the idea of don't slack off after a big sale, then it's time to turn it up another notch because you've got that momentum going. That's a big one. Big one. This is a good one too. Don't handle administrative duties when you should be worrying about prime time selling. And I think a lot of us on this call and in our lives get caught up in the administrative pieces because it feels good. It feels good to go work on your
busy.
file. Busy work. And there are people that love that stuff. I think you and Jen love that stuff.
We love busy work, but that's not what's going to make us more money if we are.
Right. So we just have to be careful that we don't fall into that administrative, duties trap and forget that, prospecting and art of the deal and showing property and stuff is more important. But it does feel good. I'll admit it too. When I have a task that I need to get done, sometimes I'll keep a few tasks just for myself that I know are just,
Menial.
Yeah, $5 an hour job that I'm doing that I'm like, it's great.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Actually, it's $15 an hour now.
Oh, is that minimum wage now?
Oh, yeah.
So are we in violation?
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Totally kidding.
Jen and I call that monkey work, though. We always pop in, I'm like, you doing monkey work? She's like, yeah.
And she's happy about it.
Yeah, well, it feels good because it's a dopamine release when you achieve a task.
That's true. That's true.
So keep some for yourself, but then also like how a lot of you on the call have kind of decided it's time to get someone to help them with marketing.
Yeah.
It's time, because you don't need to be putting stamps on everything.
Right.
You don't need to be doing that.
Right.
You don't need to be creating that piece.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
I was talking to Kayla, and I'm, and usually people start to reach a level of busyness that they start looking for an assistant. And do you guys want to talk about assistants real quick? Because I think that there is a way that we need to be addressing assistants.
I think that's great.
So what most people do is they hire an assistant and then they pull back all their work from their TCs because they figure, hey, I can make up for the income by pulling the work out of the TCs and giving it to this person, right? And then maybe have them help with some of the menial tasks here and there. But really, that's not going to make a big impact on your business.
Right. You already have a TC.
So the one thing that I want to suggest for those of you guys out there, and Brian, you're good about it, man. You and I talked about how you structure your, and even on the call, how you structure your assistants, is number one, they say the time to hire an assistant is when you're not making your appointments on time. When you're late, when you're tardy, when you just can't seem to make it, that's the time to do it. The second thing is, and this is my advice to everybody, when you are looking for an assistant and are going to hire an assistant, don't have them doing TC work or administrative work or junk work. Have them doing money-making opportunity work. Have them making, have them doing lead generation work. Have them sending out, using your Hit 'em Up app and sending out text to 100 people. Have them going to the store and picking up your credit card or your Christmas cards or holiday cards. Have them be the ones that go buy the flags. Have them order your beach balls for the 4th of July. Have them be in charge of your marketing calendar. Because your marketing calendar is a lead gen source. Now, there's things you're still and always going to have to do. They can't make calls for you.
Right.
They can't call your been-a-whiles.
Right.
But it is important that you use those assistants in a way that's going to create more business. The other thing I recommend is always hire a licensed assistant. And there are plenty. I mean, we have 100 people in the company that would love to go be trained by a top producer and be somebody's assistant. I mean, if Ryan was out, I'd have him go work for somebody like that just to learn. So it is important that you get somebody that is licensed, because if you need them to go open a door, if you need them to go to an inspection and open the door for the inspector, if you need them, be careful with that though, is what Brenda's saying. I'm not saying to be in a bunch of face-to-face contact with your clients because they still want to work for you. I am saying that they can open doors for inspectors. They can make sure that they go out and meet the termite. They can go meet the air conditioning contractor to get them inside the house. They can do all those things that truly are a complete waste of your life. And are not money-making activities for you. So that's just my own thing. So have them being in charge of your marketing calendar, and have them in charge of doing the menial real estate related items. Oh, I know why you're saying that, Brenda. You're funny. You're funny.
What did she say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. So anyway, so yeah, and obviously, and there is a personality type that you almost want to look for in an assistant too. There are a lot of people that do not want to be in charge. There are a lot of people that do not want the responsibility and the stress of what comes along with deals. Now, a lot of people will hire super hardcore A personality go-getters. Sometimes that's not always the wisest thing to do, because in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, they're gone. As opposed to somebody that's just like, hey, Jenny, I just want to come into work. You give me the stuff you want me to do. Pay me, minimum wage and 5% of your transactions, and I'm happy.
Yep.
And that's a certain personality type that I think you need to look for too. And because there just are people that don't want to deal with the stress and the headaches of real estate deals. Any questions on assistants, guys? Or does everybody feel good about it? I mean, you guys know where I'm at?
Can I interrupt real quick?
Go ahead, Adam.
This is just, we've got 17 to 20 people, 20 right now, on Facebook watching. If everyone could just hit the like button, that would help us out a great deal. I just wanted to throw that in there while people are watching. So
all right, cool. Thanks, Adam.
We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. And the other thing is, and this is a big one too, and I'm speaking more to the top producers right now, well, actually to everybody in life, but don't let your ego get in the way. I'd say some of the biggest, hardest lessons I've learned in my life, even though, you don't want to admit it sometimes, is because of your ego. And as you start getting success, it's important that we all stay humble. And Mike Zing used to always say that. He said he was praying at Cornerstone Church, and the pastor, I think it's Ron over there, was his name. He heard him praying, and his prayer was, God, keep me humble, don't make me humble. Because if you're not careful, you will take a beating if you get a big ego. And ego is truly, I believe, a life killer if you're not careful. People aren't going to like you. I mean, how many big egomaniac real estate people do we know? Not in this company, but in other companies out there. You guys know who I'm talking about? There's quite a few. And people just don't like them. And I don't know that they're leaving a good mark. So just try to stay humble and keep some humility.
Yeah, it goes back to your legacy thing. Leave a good legacy.
Yeah, and part of the Shake It Up book was, trying to find out what you're all about. Like Jenny, if you describe to me your talents and who you are and all that sort of stuff and what makes up Jenny, and then you were to go ask your coworkers and your family and all that, tell me about Jenny, what is she like? And then you go to your clients, tell me about Jenny, what is she like? A lot of times you might be surprised what people have to say. I'm sure it'd all be good about you, Jenny, but you know what I mean? So anyways, don't let your ego get in the way. Go ahead.
Nothing.
Are you fighting with stuff over there?
I am. They say they can't hear me.
Oh, really?
No.
Adam, you have headphones on, dude.
Who's saying that?
Jenny, that was 18 minutes ago.
That was 18 minutes ago. When you didn't have your microphone on, remember? Are we reliving that moment now?
Okay. All right.
I am so sorry.
Speaking of this one, Jenny, this one applies directly to you.
Okay.
Watch the amount of liquor you consume. Your credibility could be lost in one evening.
Oh, that's true.
Watch the amount of liquor you consume.
That goes for Michael and I.
Your credibility could be lost in one evening. Why is Michael? Oh, yeah, I remember Michael at the Christmas party 2 years ago.
I had to
And
throw
you.
him. I know. But it's true. It's true. Make sure you're around people who already love and respect you if you've had more than two.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I do think that's a good one. I thought that was a good comment. Tell your vendors how much you appreciate them. Don't forget, whether you're using Becca at Fidelity Title or Kim England or Sherry, Sherry Keene or whatever. I mean, they bust
Brett,
their butts.
all of them all. Yeah.
Brett, all of them. The Lou Escrow girls. Even your home protection girls that are showing up at every meeting and talking and doing all their thing. It's just important that you let people know they appreciate them because number one, you'll make their day.
Yeah.
And number two, if you ever need anything, they're more likely to help you even more because they know they're appreciated.
Yes.
So that's just something else to think about. I like this one.
Okay.
If you are a veteran in this business, Learn from the rookies.
Okay, explain yourself.
Oh, don't forget Anthony at LaRue, Brenda said. So if, like for example, when people come into the business, the seasoned people are always kicking butt, but they're still making adjustments, right? They're still
Always.
changing their business and getting better and doing all those sorts of things. But when these rookies come in and let's say that they're doing it, well, perfect example, Kayla. Kayla got 95% of her business off of Instagram. There's something to learn there when she came in new. So, if you're a veteran, learn from the rookies. Look and see what some of the newer people are doing that's helping them take off if it's a little different than what you're doing in your box. And I believe in the box.
Tell me about the box.
I don't like when
What's in the box?
when agents come and sit with me and tell me how they're going to revolutionize the world.
Oh, yeah.
And I came up with this thing for $1,000 a month. I'm going to be the #1 agent. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. And yet the box, sitting open houses, going to everything you're invited to, having a good social sphere, keeping in contact with everyone, texting them, making sure that you're in their thoughts, that they remember you. That's the box.
Oh, okay.
As
Gotcha.
opposed to, the people that are going to revolutionize the world, because I know that's a recipe for disaster. Because the top agents in this company probably have the lowest budgets. Wouldn't you
Nice.
say?
Yeah.
I mean, close.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not spending a fortune.
No.
If anybody's got anything they want to add in, please do so, by the way. Anybody at all that's got something cool, feel free. Oh, we got Brett Murray on the call. Brett, you need to jump in, dude. You got some experience in life, man. Feel free to jump in. Here it is. Silence is a necessity, not a negative. That's what it says. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, sometimes we need to shut up and listen,
Yeah.
And how about this one? Tell me if you agree with this one. Are you
Okay.
presenting new ideas or concepts to your clients? If not, your competition might be, and you'll lose them. So even though, I'm saying to work within the box, things like understanding CBX and Moxie and being able to
Right.
locate exactly where your buyers are coming from, what zip codes they're coming from, what careers they're coming from, what incomes they're coming from, how many kids, all that sort of stuff. It is important that you're not just showing up with a listing book from 20 years ago,
Right.
doing the same thing.
Totally.
So
The
presenting
same
new
one
ideas.
that everyone else has.
Right. So that's important. Don't give away the farm.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
Your Brenda's dad was the king of that. I mean, he really was. People a lot of times will say, hey, if I double in it, I'll do it for 4, or this or that, when they don't need to. That's just giving things away when they've already got the listing. And you know what? You're going to work just as hard, if not harder, on these double enders sometimes. So I do think it's important that, a lot of times people will talk themselves right out of income that they rightfully deserve. In the middle of they'll just keep talking and talking. And you know what? I'll throw in the home warranty and
Yes.
and this and that and
Yes.
this and that. And then the next thing you know, they've given away thousands and thousands of dollars. I always thought this. Somebody would say, "Would you cut your commission?" For example. And I always like it. It was Sonia that said it. I probably told you the story. We were up in La Cresta on $1 million sale, a listing, and she basically said, "They said, will you cut your commission?" She said, "You know what? I will. And here's what I'm gonna do, but you can't tell anybody about it. I'm gonna cut this $500." But you cannot tell anyone, $500 just because I like you, we're going to drop it $500. And 1% would have been $9,000. And they're like, $500? Sweet. Yeah. So, but don't give away the farm. You don't always have to. The other thing is let your support staff know how special and important they are. Be sincere when you tell them. Adam? Be sincere. I just can't do it right now.
I know.
Not after this morning.
No?
I'm totally kidding. No, but we appreciate you, Adam. We appreciate you, Michael. We appreciate you, Tristan. We do. Right, Jenny?
We do.
Oh, thank you. I believe every word.
How was the sincerity level on that?
It was at least 90%.
Okay.
You know who I appreciate?
Who?
Every person on this call, because it is not easy for us to do this sometimes. And then we think, wait a minute, our friends are going to be here with us. It's going to be okay.
Thank you, Elizabeth, Steve Batiz,
Yeah,
Brian,
thank you all.
Bonnie, Brenda, Denise,
We can't even say y'all, but
Isabel, Brett,
thank you.
Duffy, Carpenter. I mean, there are some great peeps out there. John Hill's always on here, Lindsay, good stuff. So thank you guys
Katie.
very, very much.
Thanks. Oh.
But yeah, it is important, though, that we do acknowledge the staff up front. I can tell you, if no one's here that showed up on floor and you're the one that brought the front office receptionist a Starbucks coffee twice in the last month, you might get that call.
That's true.
Somebody walked in, they want to buy a waterfront. Who am I going to call? Well, Jenny brought me a latte. It could happen, right, Isabel? How much do you appreciate the people that are really, you know what, Isabel, you just unmute yourself for a minute. Oh, that's all right. She might not.
Okay.
Okay, so Isabel, are there people that are really, really nice to you? And there are people that are maybe not as nice to you now that you're sitting up front in one of the offices?
Yes. Most of them are nice.
Some of them are they just walk in and they don't acknowledge me, but I make sure they acknowledge me. I mean, we're going to have a conversation. I want to know about you. So eventually they warm up, but I haven't had anyone be so mean to me
Right.
But I am appreciative of everyone.
So don't you think there's a lesson there, Jenny? The lesson is that, and so many different people, like my boys have worked the front and different people, and they have an opinion of each and every one of you guys. And they know who the nice people are and the people that just totally ignore them, or when they do talk to them are complaining or need this done or that done or whatever. But don't forget that they're the ones, the Isabels are the ones that make the world go round. They're the ones that keep the place running. So
Are you bribable, Elizabeth?
everyone's bribable. You know, so whether it's Kristen and Marietta, you know, whether it's Johnette, whether it's Isabel, you know.
It's not Kristen. Kristen's our TC.
Oh, I mean the TCs too. Everybody. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is true.
Like everybody. You know,
I thought you were talking.
No.
I was like, are we back in 2010?
Oh no, Axel. I mean, Kiana. That's right. All right. So anyway, so where were we? So stop, listen, and think before you respond. That's another one too. That's something that I need to learn. And you're the same. A lot of us on this call, somebody will ask us a question, we fire right back, as opposed to the intelligent person that just goes, have you ever said something like, why did I just blurt that out?
All the time. I just did it.
You just did it. But if you stop and take a minute and then respond, number one, you look smart and there's more anticipation to your answer.
You know who comes to my mind? Steve Batiz.
What?
He takes a second and then he speaks.
Right.
And it's not just a Southern thing either. He takes a second and then thinks about what he's going to say. Brian Keene does the same. Oh, I was going to say maybe it's a man thing, but it's not because you just blurted it out.
So Steve, do you actually literally do that? Like if somebody asks you a question, do you stop and think, or are you just a little slow?
Yeah, a little slow. You don't want me to say what's on my mind without thinking about it first.
That makes sense.
Lesson learned.
Right? But you do. You actually take your time and you listen and you think and then you let it out?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay. I mean.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. Well, we get in trouble when we don't.
That's funny.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So stop, listen, and think before you respond.
Okay.
Tell the truth.
Always tell the truth because especially in a deal.
I remember when I first started in the business, we had a couple Wild West agents. And I remember Nora pulling me aside when I was brand new and she goes, Chuck, always tell the truth. She goes, it's just so much easier to remember. And I was like, oh.
True.
Okay.
Because if you tell one fib, then you're not even going to remember especially in a deal. That's why just own it. Say, you're not always going to like what I say, but I'm always going to tell you the truth.
And usually people are doing that to not hurt someone's feelings or whatever, but it ends up coming back to bite you. And the next one is smile. Customers like positive people. That's a no-brainer, right? Seek advice regularly from other professionals. I think, Brian always told me that he likes to come in this calls because he likes to hear the other agents talk. And what are they doing and what's working and all that sort of stuff. So seek advice regularly from other professionals. Speaking of that, we need to do a mastermind. I need a mastermind very soon. I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to do that investment dinner with everything that went down with, I don't know about you guys out there, but I have so many friends, people I haven't seen in forever that the entire family is down with COVID right now. I mean, it's everywhere. It's more than I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Really good friends. So I don't know if we're going to do that event. So we'll have to figure that out, guys, on whether we're going to keep charging right now.
No, we'll charge different ways.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Would you guys mind just typing into the chat real quick? If we were to do an investment dinner at the lodge, it's in 2 weeks or about a week and a half, how many of you guys would like to come to that? Or are you still uncomfortable with coming? Would you guys mind just dropping a chat in there for me?
Same for the Facebook viewers. We have a lot of Facebook viewers.
Yeah, and just let me know what they say, Adam. Yeah. So we got a yes.
We got me, yes. Brenda says yes.
Yes. Okay. I mean,
there you have it, sir.
I'm comfortable too, but again, it seems like I've been responsible for.
I was just going to say, you don't get to have a say.
Okay. I've been vaccinated and yes. Okay. All right. Yes. The yes is across the board.
That's fun.
Either that or nobody
happy,
wants to say no. But okay, cool. So we'll do that.
Everyone's saying yes on Facebook too. So.
Okay. Well, Jenny.
I think
maybe just
so.
Zoom it. There's one. Well, it's because she lives in LA and she doesn't want to drive out here. Come on, Dana. Also, that's not a bad idea. Also, I like that.
Yeah.
Here's another thing, though. Congratulate your peers on their accomplishments.
Yes.
We
should be each other's biggest cheerleaders.
It feels good to do that too. Jenny, you're doing a really good job. You've been wonderful. And I mean that, though. Like, look what you've done, you know, just in your job and your career and all that sort of stuff. You do a really good job. And I'll bet you hit your goal.
Thanks.
Don't you think? Are you going to hit it?
It depends which goal you're talking about.
The thermometer in the office.
Yes, with all these people's help, I can hit my goal.
All right, okay, good. So, of course, and don't forget to thank your spouse, significant other, or friends for their help and support, too.
That's true.
And I think that'll make them do it more.
No, totally. And have you guys noticed, like on Facebook or whatever, some people, like they'll post their awards, and I can't even think of anyone off the top of my head who doesn't, but it's in other industries. They'll be bragging and bragging about, oh, I made this, I did this goal, I did this. They don't even think the people who helped them get there. I was like, they're missing the hugest opportunity. And it's in different industries usually, not ours.
I know what you mean, though. Like, just want to thank my brokers for acknowledging me on how great I am, as opposed to.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah. But yes, thanking your spouse, significant other, friends, family, parents, kids, anybody who helped you is great. I like that. The next one is don't be an underachiever.
Yeah.
I think we all are. I think all humans are underachievers.
True. We only use what, a portion of our brain?
Yeah. I mean, I really do. I feel like we're all capable of so much more, but we don't always do it. And that's because we're too comfortable. You know, a lot of times we just get comfortable. And that's the way it goes. Never accept mediocrity. That's a big one. I think we don't even need to talk about that one.
Right.
And I added a few of my own favorite quotes.
Okay.
Okay. And we're going to be out of here early, but here's a couple of my favorite. This is a big one. If someone sticks by your side through the worst times, they're the ones who deserve to be with you through the best times.
That's one of my favorites, too.
Would you agree?
Yes.
I mean, and I think that the real secret to friendship is when you get kicked, when you get smacked, when life knocks you down, the people that are there for you, that check in on you, that care about you, like, you can't forget those people.
Right.
And then unfortunately, there's a whole nother batch of people that when you're down, disappear.
But remember, a lot of those, it's because they're in fear. You know, they're scared that's going to happen to them. They don't know how to deal with it. So don't put judgment on them, but just remember to acknowledge them. And does that make sense?
Well, yeah,
too?
I mean, but I think about it now, and this is probably just because of learning with life, is like when somebody loses a spouse, you know, and you can talk to them and ask how they're doing or whatever, and you'll find out that nobody's checking on them. And they're probably doing it because they don't know what to say. They don't know what to do.
We're too scared. We're too scared.
But man, that's the time when people need it. And
you're right. We need to get over that.
And the other thing that I've learned too is if you guys have any friends out there that are getting divorced, check on them. They need it. You have no idea how much a 5-minute call probably turned into 20. But you know, you'd have no idea how much that would mean to them. Or you know, like you said, if somebody's really, really sick and you just call and check on them and see if they need anything. Or I just think that stuff goes so far.
You're right.
And watch out for fair weather friends. You know what I'm talking about? Only there when you're up.
Yeah.
When the weather's great and when everything's good, yet when they're down here, they're nowhere to be found. You know, am I being? I'm not being negative. I'm just saying.
No, I think this is true, and I think
aware.
a lot of it is get out of your own head to be there to help people. Because a lot of times when we don't make those phone calls, is because we're awkward. We don't want to say the wrong thing, and I don't know. And we have so many of our friends here who've been through such hard times, and we need to be there for them.
I agree.
You're right.
I agree. So that's one of them that I put down. I like this one. It's cliche, but it says, I don't know how my story will end, but nowhere in my text will it ever read, I gave up. And I think no matter what, you know, always keep charging no matter what happens. And, you know, again, you're going to get kicked, you're going to get smacked, but just keep going because good things are going to happen. And in that Shake It Up book, there was that whole line about, you know, the best part about dark times is something great's about to happen. And you're going to have a whole new appreciation of life. You know, when you move through those dark times, when that terrible thing happens, and now you have all that life knowledge to share with the world, and all, you know, the experience to relate with people that you now didn't have before. And so, you know, not giving up and learning from those lessons is huge.
Yeah.
This is a big one. Beautiful, in my opinion, has nothing to do with looks.
I think
it's nice. What's that? Huh?
And I think you're full of shit.
Oh, stop it. But it's truly how you are as a person, and how you make other people feel about themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's looks, right, which is what you're talking about. But then there's like those people that just emanate, you know, something about them that make everybody feel good about themselves or feel good when they're around. And those are the quality people. That's the gold. Those are the real gifts people on the planet. You know, yeah, beautiful people are beautiful to look at or fun to look at, but really it's about what's inside and,
Yes.
and who they are. Look at you.
No.
You're having a hard time swallowing this.
No. No, I just keep thinking Jeremy's feelings get so hurt because like the people who I truly am most attracted to are just super funny, good, kind people. And he's like, this makes me have really low self-esteem. Like I thought Walter Maltha was so hysterical and fun, just things like that.
That's so funny. That's funny. So
true.
just a thought. I've always said this, and I'm going to say this. What?
Walter Matthau. Yeah.
I know. We got to get a picture and have some fun with that comment. Google it, by the way, guys. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. I always say that, but
It's so true.
I love like when I look back and go, I bought that rental.
Yeah.
Or thank God I bought that rental 15 years ago. Or I'm glad that we set everything up now so that when the times do get tough, there's a system that runs along and keeps your business going because you were smart back in the day.
Yeah.
Saving money, paying off debts, refinancing your mortgage and getting yourself a 3%, or something
Yeah.
like that.
15-year.
On a 15-year, these moves that you make now, it's so cool when you can look back and go, wow, I can't believe I actually built myself a house in La Cresta.
Yeah.
Now I have it. Now I'm living the dream I always wanted,
Yeah.
or whatever it may be. So it's just kind of cool to do things today that your future self will thank you for.
Yeah.
Another thing, going back to where we were at before, notice the people who are happy for your happiness and sad for your sadness. They're the ones that deserve special places in your heart. And I know I kind of alluded to that before, but
It's so true though, and pay attention.
yeah. Well, and what do they say? Don't just watch the people that are clapping for you, but pay attention to the people that are not
They're
clapping
not
for
clapping for you. It's so true.
you. Yeah. I mean, and you only get, and I think everybody will admit, you only get a handful of really good friends in this world. You really do. So don't discount them. I got a friend that lives up north, and he calls me every month and a half or so, and he's really good about calling me. And you got to always take those calls and appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because not everybody reaches out.
True.
Let's see what else we got. When you're going through something hard and wonder where God is, I love this quote. Remember, the teacher is always quiet during a test.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
So one more time. When you're going through something hard and wonder where God is, remember the teacher is always quiet during a test. It kind of reminds me of that Footprints. You remember the Footprints
yes.
poem,
Yeah.
where he says like, why whenever times were tough, was there only one set of footprints when there used to be two? And he, where were you? Why'd you abandon me? He said, well, those are the times I was carrying you.
I know.
That's some quality stuff.
It's so good.
So, some really quality stuff. So, be aware of that. And that tied into one of the next things, which was this one. When you cannot sleep at night, have you ever thought maybe it's God saying we need to talk and now you have time?
Oh.
You guys know what I mean? That's the best time. When you're asleep at night, and you can't sleep, it's really the time that you can just get in some communication and straighten your life out, or whatever. So.
Oh, don't turn back the TV on.
No, probably not at 4 o'clock in the
not.
morning.
No.
It's a sign. Buddha says, the trouble is you think you have time.
That's so true.
The trouble is you think you have time. I had to keep that one because I'm just looking right now, and I'll be 50, and I'm wondering, I feel 18. Didn't I just graduate from high school?
I know, honey. I know.
Right? Adam, you're mid-30s now, dude.
Yeah.
It goes.
Michael's almost an adult. He turns 31 in a couple weeks.
Wow. Michael, mid-30s, dude.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is another one that I think is cool. If you do get wiped out, which people will, and in the next 5 years as the market shifts and all that sort of stuff, there's no such thing as going back to square one, period, right? Even if you feel like you have to start over, you're starting over but with knowledge, with
Yes.
strength, with power that you never had before. The game is not starting over. The game is going to continue, but now you've got an arsenal of tools and experience and knowledge. And your journey is just never over. It's just waiting for you to find it again, and this time on a much higher level because you know what you're doing now.
I think that's
we're not
super
infants
good.
going back to the beginning. We are skilled people with skills.
Yes.
So anyways, and one of the last ones I wanted to say, there's a couple more and then we're going to be out of here early today, but the only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it.
Yep.
You agree with that, Michael? The only thing standing between you and your goal is the bullshit story you keep telling yourself as to why you can't achieve it. Yeah, it is.
It really, like when you were telling me people who talk a big game and they don't achieve it, it's because they're telling other people and they're not telling themselves.
Yeah.
That self-talk book really helped. I read it.
Oh, did you read that one?
Well,
the one.
most of it.
But that's pretty cool. The what to say when you talk to yourself
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Really? Well, that's the author we had on Friday, two Fridays ago.
So now, like, whenever I'm exercising or whatever, and I feel like I can't do it, I just say, I'm strong, I am capable.
Do you have that book?
I do.
Can you bring it in?
Sure.
Cool. I'll check it out. We'll check it out.
That's so good.
Cool.
It's so true. And because how wonderfully we talk to each other, that's how we need to be talking to ourselves. And that's the hardest part.
What did they say? If you talk to your spouse the way you talk to yourself, you divorce yourself. Or if you talk to yourself, you know,
Oh my God.
It's just basically we are a lot harder on ourselves than everyone
Yeah.
else. You know, and sometimes I don't know if we need to be or what, but. If you work for money, you'll never make it, but if you love what you're doing, you'll always put the customer first. Success will always be yours. You know, if you like what you're doing and you put people ahead of yourself, you'll always be successful. That's another one I liked. And this is I think this was one of the last ones, is I've learned that it's not what you have in your life, but who you have in your life that counts. And that goes for all your friends, for everybody on this call, for your spouse, for your kids, for your family, for your significant other, your aunts, your uncles, your parents.
Yeah.
Again, it's not what you have in your life, but who you have in your life. And that's really it. And I'm sorry to say it again. I'm going to say it again. Denzel Washington. You can't pull a U-Haul behind a hearse.
That's true. You can't.
You can't take it with you. So, and no matter how cool or awesome you think you are, when a 3-year-old hands you a toy phone, you damn well better answer it.
That's right. That's so true.
I don't know why, but I think of some big stud trying to look like he's this and that, but somebody hands it to you, you better answer it.
Well, you've seen like The Rock with his daughters. There's nothing more precious, you know.
Yep, it's a true story. All right, so, and then the last thing, I was talking to somebody the other day. This is literally the last thing I want to talk about, and then we
Hey,
can
you
move
can
on.
talk as much as you want.
Yeah, it's your show.
Oh, that's right. So I was talking to this guy the other day, and he was talking about the unequal playing field that we have in life.
Yes.
And here's what I mean. So we weren't born 6'8" and can dunk a basketball.
No.
Some people were not born, some people that no matter what, they got dysgraphia or dyslexia, and no matter how hard they try, they can't read.
Right.
And so what about, and then there's people that are born without legs, and there's people that are born with disabilities, and there's people that are born into, abject poverty, right? All this different stuff, and we're not, right? So are we really that special? Or were we just fortunate enough to be given certain gifts? You're very presentable, you have a great personality, you're smart, but not everybody was born with those things. So that being the case, is it an equal playing field? And are we really that special, or we were just given these gifts, right? And everybody has them on this call. Every person has these gifts. And so really, what are you doing with those gifts to help those other people that maybe potentially don't have the same attributes that we've been given? You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's what's cool about, like even, all of our friends that are in orthotics and prosthetics, or doctors or whatever, and we get these things that we're so great. And hey, you might be great, but don't forget that you were fortunate enough to be given these things when other people weren't. And I'm not trying to get like, all liberal and crazy and stuff, but I just do think that we have an obligation to speak for those that can't speak for themselves, to try to do things to help those people and lift them up that maybe weren't given the same gifts, because we're really not that great. We were just given some gifts. So make sure that you don't squander them away. Why were you given them, and what good things can you do with them?
And help them find their gift.
Right.
That's right. Everyone has a gift.
No arms, no legs, no problem, right?
Exactly.
That guy's a motivator.
Yes, and with the gifts we're given, let's help those others find their gift.
Yeah, and so that's the last little thing is, and I think it just comes down to humility and not thinking that we're all that, because we just got lucky. Everybody out there, I mean, you look in the mirror and you're a good-looking guy or girl, and you got a good physique and a good body and good, digestive system and all that sort of stuff, and so not everybody has it.
No, not
So
everyone has a...
Be appreciative and pay it forward to the people that don't have that. So anyways, and I'm not trying to leave on that note, but I just thought it's just maybe not always a real fair playing ground, and we just have to do our best to make sure that we're supporting the people that don't have all the gifts that we have, because maybe that's why we were given those gifts. I don't know. Put it out there. So anyways, any other feedback though? Anybody have anything?
Anybody?
Mike, Adam?
I'm just waiting for the Zoom crowd if anyone wants to jump in, but I do have a few announcements.
Go ahead.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for commenting on our Facebook Live here. It really helps the algorithm, helps us grow. feel free to share this post, share the wealth, share the this great information we have here, and we love you. We love you so much.
Thanks, Adam. Jenny, anything else?
Oh, we do love them so much.
I know, it's good times.
And they all have special gifts. That's what I think is so important. Remember, you may feeling like, oh, I don't have this gift, I don't have that gift. But we all have super special gifts. And talk to yourself nice.
Right? Well, and don't forget what Isabel said.
Yeah, be nice.
You know, people walk by and don't walk by and, you know, just ignore people. It goes back to that book that those landscapers, or that landscaper of the White House wrote.
Yes.
You know, talking about how certain presidents that would come by, you know, will acknowledge them and stop and talk about what a wonderful job they did, and some will just ignore them, you know, and just talked about all the different personality types. So just don't forget to make sure you're that person that acknowledges everyone.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right, we're out of here early.
I love it.
All right, Adam, Michael, Tristan, Jenny.
Check.
You guys all have a great week. And thanks for tuning in, guys.
Bye, guys.
We'll talk to you soon. Make something good happen.